we always said great things don't come from comfort zones. I think that if I were to explain Tommy to you guys in college, like the first thing comes to mind, free spirit. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I want kids now.
Crazy, huh? So the grass that we're standing on.
Exactly.
On this side.
What rapper can you find in a toolbox?
No MSR. Sorry, guys.
People. ASMR.
ASMR. So I said it right?
No.
ASMR.
Okay, let's dive in.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to It's a Win-Win Wednesday, where we upload an episode every week. My name is Tommy Nguyen.
And I'm Sopha Nguyen.
And if you're new here, welcome to the podcast. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back to the podcast. So today I am drinking a Coke Zero. I haven't had a Coke Zero in a minute, and I can't wait to sip this.
I love it. We had a church serve. Go ahead, open it.
All right, I'm gonna open it right now. Alrighty.
We had a barbecue at church the other day, and they had some like leftover drink. So we had this as a leftover, and I have Capri Sun, Pacific Cooler.
Capri Sun.
We love Capri Sun. This is not from church. This is actually mine. We buy Capri Sun.
Oh yeah, we did. That is ours, huh?
We are grown adults with juice boxes or juice.
It's like a juice bag
in our house. Anyone else like Capri Sun?
Yeah, we grew up drinking Capri Sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
You did? Yeah, I did too, all the time. It was amazing. It's still amazing. And so we're still getting it now.
I love it. There was a sale at Target Drive Up. So we got some.
Yeah. I think Capri Sun's the best. Like after like a nice, like long, hot day, you come back from doing something, like whatever you're doing, you come back and it's really hot out. You drink a little Capri Sun, get a little refreshment.
Yeah. It reminds me of my childhood. It brings me some comfort and joy.
Yeah. And I also remember why I don't drink Coke Zero.
Is it good or no?
It's aight.
I think it's 0 caffeine, 0 sugar.
Yeah, I love me like all the sugar, even though sugar is bad for you.
You don't like the sugar though. Tommy, like if you ask anyone in my family, he is the one that's like, oh, don't eat too much sugar. Don't eat too much sugar. Sugar's not good for you, which is true.
That's true. But the thing is, I just try to stray away from sugar, but I love just like a regular Coke.
He is very amazing. Disciplined is basically what he's trying to say without saying that. He's disciplined. Me, on the other hand, not always.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments what you guys are drinking, or maybe what you're eating, or what you're up to. Let us know how it's going, how you've been feeling. If there's anything on your mind, feel free to share with us, privately or publicly, to spark some conversation.
Yeah, because we created the podcast basically for all of you guys to connect and find a space online where you can just come and basically chat with us in the comments, chat with us in person, in our DMs, and just continue the conversation of things that we talk about, because connection is a huge part of our life and what's important to us and what we're just passionate about it. I think I'm really passionate about it, but I also think Tommy's passionate about it.
Yeah.
Getting people, at least helping people find like purpose and like, I don't know, in life. Tommy is like very good at that.
Oh man, I'm passionate about like those things for sure.
He's like passionate about helping people see what they can bring to the table and how much value they bring like in their life before they can even see it themselves.
Potential and purpose.
Yeah, that's what he's all about.
Yeah.
Also, your Mac is saying it's going to die.
Oh man, I gotta hit the MacBook charger.
Can you go get it?
We'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, we are back. MacBook is charging. Didn't die on us, so we're still recording. So thank you for your patience. So I know we asked you how you guys are doing in our episode podcast, but I want to ask, how are we doing? And I'm going to ask Sopha how she's doing. Just how's life going for you right now?
Yeah, life has been really productive.
How so? Like when you say productive, what do you mean by that?
I feel like every day of the week there's something going on and a lot of change has been happening in my life. And so I felt like it would be fun to kind of just update everybody on that. So one of the biggest changes is adjusting to being called Sopha instead of Sophie. And it's been really challenging, not even going to lie.
Yeah.
I am not ready to change any names on my emails. I don't even know when I meet new people. Like I met a bunch of new people yesterday and I said my name is Sophie. And like Daniel, our friend, introduced me to somebody who has never met me before. And he's like, this is Sophie. And he's like, okay, well, Sopha is going to take care of you, because he knows I'm trying to transition into getting called that. But he's also working on calling me that. And so I felt like that was such a confusing moment. And that constantly continues to happen. Like Tommy called me Sopha in front of this group that we lead every week. And I was like, I feel like they're going to be so confused on what he just said. So
oh yeah, I don't know. Did we explain to them?
no. So this week
okay.
is on my plan to explain to them. But like, I don't even know how to navigate. Has anyone ever had to do this? I don't know. Like,
It's like you're changing your identity in a way, even though it's just like your name.
yeah, but all my emails and like my contact info, my Apple ID, like everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been one change.
So how do you feel like with that happening? Like, so you're saying you're introducing yourself as, and I don't know if you've decided like which way you want to go really. I mean, I think you're trending to go the other way, Sopha, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's been challenging for you. Why do you think that's challenging for you?
I don't know. I think one thing too is like, I mean, this is why I went by Sophie most of my like life, is because Sopha isn't something that people are used to saying.
Yeah.
And like when people say it, some people don't feel confident. They're like, I don't know if I'm saying it right. Sopha, I don't, you know.
Give us a lesson right now. How do we say your first name proper?
I mean, the way like my family says it versus like an American accent. So it's kind of different. Like my mom be like, Sopha.
Is that the proper way?
I don't know, probably, but you can say
you can decide what's proper for you.
Sopha is how I say it. Sopha, like P-A-H, pa, Sopha.
Pa. So when people say your name, what's like the part that they get wrong, maybe in pronunciation?
I don't want to say it's wrong, because I want to celebrate that people are trying, and I never want them to feel bad about it, because like I have friends who have more difficult names too, and I'm always like making sure I'm saying their names right, and they always are the same way, because like we never want people to feel bad trying to call us by our names. You know what I mean?
And at the same time, you would want them to get it right as well, right? Yeah.
Because they want to get it right, and I feel awkward correcting people still, because again, it's so weird to me in general. So I feel a lot of tension with just that one small change in my life.
Oh yeah, I feel that, like correcting people. It's
so
hard,
weird.
and it almost feels rude. Like you're
It
correcting, like, hey,
does.
this is actually how you say my name, but you don't want to say it because it might feel kind of rude.
Well, and like people are trying.
Yeah.
But I've noticed, like, Rachel, I hope you're listening. I think you're listening. Like the fact that you call me Sopha like at Eden is so cute and special, and I love that you are just going with it. So shout out to Rachel. She's one of our listeners on our podcast. And well, sometimes people will say like Sopha. And I don't want to correct them. Like I almost just want them to say it, because I don't want them to feel bad. But
I guess you gotta figure out a way on how to say that, right? Or else you're gonna become Sopa instead of Sopha. So now it's like Sophie to Sopa.
Sophie Sopha, but it's really Sopha. But I'm like, I don't know. In the English language, is there any English language?
English, yeah.
Yeah, English language. I was like, is there anything that has like pa? Like
I
pa.
think of like mom and pa.
Papa?
Like papa. Yeah, like pa.
That's good. So they have words that say Sopha.
Yeah.
So maybe you guys can give me tips on how to gently, kindly correct someone. And I don't know, wrong names. Like it's like I've never had an opportunity to correct people saying Sopha as a kid, because I was just like, just call me Sophie. Like I never cared to correct them, because I was just so annoyed that people just didn't even care to ask. Sometimes.
And also, I would say shout out to the people who are trying as well, who are making that transition. Like you listen to podcasts, or maybe you've talked to us, talked to Sopha about it.
Like Jackie and
now
Nico,
you're trying it. Because I know for me, like if someone introduces me, whatever name, that's like the name that stuck for me.
Yeah, it's like Phil, our friend Phil. His real name's Philip, and like people call him Philip, but I like can't call him Philip. I can't.
Yeah,
it's
because Phil introduced us
as Phil,
himself as Phil. Yeah, so it's hard for me to make that transition, but I can, if that's what they prefer, I would definitely make the effort to call you Philip.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one change in my life. How are you doing?
For me, man, I think it's going good. I can't complain. I just feel like I'm living the dream sometimes. In a way, I'm just really happy with my life.
This is Tommy's personality, you guys. This is like such a picture of our relationship. Tommy is so optimistic.
Yeah.
Truly to his core. He's just an optimistic person. He's very positive, doesn't take life so seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you get him going on like life's purpose and like how to make a difference in this world, I think he'll get a little more serious.
Yeah, I won't dig into it in this podcast because it'll be probably like 3 hours.
Yeah, but like if you tell him like I have this passion to be like a photographer, but like I can't quit my job at the tax firm, and I'm so stuck at this tax company because I feel like it pays me tons of money. I'm too scared to take this leap of faith to become a photographer. He's going to be like, "Oh, let's talk about this. This is why you should do this."
Well,
That's what I mean. He can go on.
Like, for me, it's like
That's
pursuing like what makes you happy in life.
That's when he'll get serious. But outside of that, he might come off as serious. I don't know if you guys can see
Maybe
through
like
this.
sometimes, yeah.
But Tommy is not. He's not like a super serious, super optimistic. Like life's good. I feel like I'm living the dream. Very blessed, and that's like not a fake thing whatsoever. Like that is who he is. Yeah. And meanwhile, me, I'm like, I have to try. Like I try my best to focus on the blessings in my life, but then sometimes it's easy to think about like all the stress I have, because I feel like I have more stress than he does.
Yeah, I think we all stress in different ways. You know, I mean, I definitely do get stressed out. I definitely do have like, I do get anxious. I do get nervous, all that kind of stuff. But you know, we all cope with it differently, I think.
He is better at managing it. I think I'm naturally like a little more anxious, stressed a little bit more, have a lot of like details in my work and stuff that I can easily, I'm like really, I don't know, I just have a lot on my plate right now.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? Like I saw this thing. I think it was like an article or a video or something. Because I would say I lean more towards I'm a positive person. I think that kind of just goes hand in hand with optimism. But I saw this like headline, and it said positivity is toxic. Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm. Well,
what is that? I didn't read it or watch it, but what is that?
There is such thing as toxic positivity. Like if someone like loses a family member or someone is going through cancer or whatever, and it's like toxic positivity is like, oh, don't worry, like the cancer is going to go away, or like your grandma passed, don't worry, like, you know, you still have your other family. Like that's like toxic positivity, where crazy. It's like some people can think like they're being positive, but really it's like toxic. Like sometimes people need to be in the state of like sadness.
Like they just need to be up in their feelings.
You got to be in your feelings so you can get to the point of being positive. It's like, who's going to be super positive about losing someone that they're very close to? You know what I mean?
That makes so much sense now.
You are not like that though. Like if you ever were, I would totally call you out on it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I try to be intentional about it too. And I think part of that is just having the awareness. I guess like just the emotional intelligence, right? To be able to read the room. And, you know, you've actually helped me with that a lot. Is
emotional intelligence.
To be able to read the room and have empathy and have compassion, because that's not an area that I'm strong in. But I have been working on it.
Yeah, you have. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so today I felt like talking about how we're doing is probably going to be most of the podcast, and then kind of seeing how you guys are doing and if you're relating to any of this. California has been changing a lot. Like I saw on the news while I was working at this co-working space that like California is opening up on June 15th. It is April 12th when we're recording this podcast.
Give it a thumbs up if you're excited about it. Give it a thumbs down if you're not. Just kidding. Don't do the thumbs down.
I mean, you can do whatever you want. But yeah, so California is opening up on June 15th, and that's like really crazy. If you guys know anything about like California, I feel like it's been like extremely, extremely, extremely strict. And the fact that we are possibly, who knows if it's actually going to happen. You never know nowadays. But the fact that we're going to open up, like I feel like with that has changed a lot of our life and our schedule. So we are like back to church in person.
Yeah.
And leading teams, like my teams, your teams.
Yeah, definitely.
Meeting a lot of new people. So like along with the name change for me, plus like church coming in person, there's just like a lot of change going on in the last 2 weeks. Like I kind of feel like that's what I want to talk about. It's like how
let it all out. Let's talk about it. We got time.
I mean, I just feel like life has been really, I really don't like the word busy. I don't know why. It just sounds kind of negative. Like I don't have time for people, but you know, the reality is it has been really busy. And like, I've been meeting with like tons of new people all the time, Zoom, in person, whatever. And really like new people who moved to the Bay Area. I'm very passionate about those types of people because we were still somewhat are those people.
Yeah, so we understand like when you first move to a brand new place, you may not have family, where you're moving to, and it can be kind of intimidating to go out and explore the community around you. For some people, it's easy; they can just go out and just do their thing, meet a bunch of new people, and get connected. And for some, it's a much harder.
Yeah, and I would say for me, when I moved to the Bay Area, it was harder for me because I was starting Soul Gold, our business, and I didn't have any friends. Like I worked by myself all day, and I felt like I had no friends here. I was trying to find like basically someone like Jackie or just a girlfriend to like go out to lunch with or get coffee with. But I was doing all of it on my own. I literally like figured out all the roads here. I did everything by
Yeah, that's
myself because
true.
Tommy was working, and so that's why like also why we started this podcast. Just because when I talk about that like longing or heart for connection, that's what I've been like investing a lot of my time in lately. It's like getting to know new people. Like I have 2 new friends here that moved here from Georgia as
Yeah.
travel nurses, and I have just been like trying to help them feel like this is their home, even though it's temporary, but like introducing them to my friends and letting them get plugged in at church and like finding new restaurants here, basically everything I wish that I had. So that's something that I've been doing on top of like church opening, I think, is like meeting with new people. And I've been meeting with like new people from like SoCal on Zoom, and like really that's what I mean by busy, but I don't want to say busy, just
Yeah, I mean, there's just been
occupied.
a lot going on in life, I think in general, but I think when you even say busy, really, to me, what busy, the way I kind of define it is it's where you invest your time. It's
Yeah.
where you're committing your time. And so when you say you're busy, like, hey, sorry, I mean, I guess in a way it's like, I don't have time for this because I want to commit my time to this.
Yeah, so my priorities have shifted a ton in this time where I am just like all about the people that I'm meeting now and really helping them feel like this place is home. And like all of us are adjusting to getting out of this like quarantine routine. I know we're not really in quarantine, but you know what I mean? Like a lot of people are staying home a lot more than we have been ever.
Yeah, I think life is like shifting back
It
to
is a
like
little bit.
that normal, right? Like back to how it felt like it was before. Because even the stuff we're doing now, like it feels pretty amazing, I
It
would say.
does. And we had dinner with our friends last night for the first time in over a year.
Yeah.
All of us eating dinner together, like sitting at a table and like not afraid, I guess, to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
eat. And we were just like by the pool and just like,
Just
that
hanging
was
out.
amazing. Yeah, it
Yeah.
felt like old times. And like, I don't know, a lot of people I feel like are adjusting to this new life. So
Hmm.
I don't know, are you guys going through a lot of change right now? I feel like I definitely am.
Yeah, and I think like with you, like what you're mentioning, like just meeting new people and just, getting connected with new people, you're like a natural connector as well, which is interesting because you're an introvert,
I'm super
right?
introverted.
You say you're introverted, but yet you're a natural connector, and you're intentional about connecting with others. I think that's where like your gifts really shine, because yes, you're naturally like just a connector. You don't like to leave people hanging or leaving or having them feel left out. And I think that's a strength of yours as well, is
That's
that
like my worst fear ever is for people to feel left. I think that's what
yeah.
breaks my heart. Like, when Daniel talks about like what is the one thing that like breaks your heart, and he
Hmm.
feels like, so I mean, I don't want to quote him word for word. I'm not quoting him because he might be
Yeah.
listening to this. But he talks about like what breaks your heart. And if you can answer that
Hmm.
question, at home, wherever you're listening to this, like what breaks your heart, that could be part of like your calling or like what you're meant to do.
Yeah, that's true.
And like I feel like for me, it's not necessarily people feeling left out. It's for me, it's like people not feeling connected, because there's
Hmm.
so many opportunities for people to get connected. I don't care who you are. If you feel awkward, you feel like you have social anxiety, you're super social, everyone can connect.
Yeah, I mean, you're introverted, but you're a connector.
Yeah. So yeah, enough about me. What have you been up to?
Me? I mean, I thought what you shared is great. Just sharing kind of more of your life update, right? And just like what you've been up to. I mean, for me, like I said, I can't really complain. Excuse me. I can't really complain. I've been surfing, so that's like one kind of like big thing that's, I would say, I've been really enjoying is surfing. I learned how to surf after moving out here to California, and I would say I've been surfing maybe like maybe 2.5 years. And I would say probably like the first 2 years, really, I just I've been surfing. It's more for fun. I have a board and everything, but it's just kind of going out there whenever I can. But then as of late, I've made this like kind of transition, or not even transition, more of like kind of like this, like just this mentality switch where it's like, I want to learn, I want to get real good, and I want to be able to surf like the bigger waves and get to like a short board, because there's like different lengths of the boards, like a long board to a short board, where a short board's a little bit more high performance. You're doing more turns on the waves and things like that.
Those guys are going fast in the water.
And they're going super fast. And I want to go faster too, because I'm on a longer board right now, like an 8-foot board. And it's more of a beginner board. And so like I just made that mental shift, like, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it with intention and with purpose, and actually have goals, where it's no longer, I still have a lot of fun doing it. And I think what I enjoy the most is like the learning process, just a process of getting to like this goal. So not necessarily getting to the goal, but just that process of getting there, right?
You're so different than me. It's just hilarious.
And I mean, to me, that's where I find a lot of joy.
You do.
Yeah.
And I love that because you have also been just as like occupied as I have been. I mean, obviously, like if I'm occupied, so is he. Like we do everything together, and everything besides surfing. But like the fact
one day maybe.
I'm terrified. The fact that you've been so like, pouring into others, and Tommy even has like this surf group where he like takes people out, shows them. I would say you show them how to surf. So that's kind of been like a passion, like a side passion project for you, like for yourself and for others. And so I feel like that's your way of connecting with people.
Yeah, no, it's been super cool. So Daniel and I started a surf group. If you guys are interested, let me know in the DMs, and we'll definitely get you hooked up and get out there in the water, catch a couple of waves here and there. But it's actually been awesome. Like we started it, and I think we have like maybe 12 to 15 people in the group. And we meet up once a month, and we go out down to Santa Cruz and we go surfing, at a beach. And it's been really fun just getting people out there, people who have like wanted to try surfing, and they've lived here and they've never have, just because it can be intimidating. I remember my first time, I was a little intimidated, and I'm like, man, I really want to go, but it's just like, what do? I don't know what to do. Yeah. And then Daniel took me out for the first time, and I'm like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. So I went with him. I mean, it felt nice to go out there with somebody who has been out there before and who has done it. So it's way less intimidating to get into. And then who knows, you might catch the bug, or it might become all about surfing. Yeah,
it's funny because we talk about how we've been doing a lot lately with all the changes and church opening back up, all the things, new clients too, new work in our business. There's just so many new things going on that for me, with all that change, all I want to do is like sit at home, watch the same movies I watched every single year. Legally Blonde, Mean Girls.
Just came on Netflix.
I know. Legally Blonde is on Netflix. I'm watching it every single day because
that's not even a lie. She watches
every
it
single
every day.
day.
Yeah.
Because I love that movie so much. And with all the change, with all the craziness that's happening, it's very fulfilling. But at the same time, I need to refill myself back up. And so for me, it's like watching my shows and just like painting my nails, talking to my nieces on FaceTime, or like eating comfort food like In and Out, or I don't know, doing like, or walking around the mall, or doing whatever. Yeah. Tommy's is like surfing.
Yeah, I guess more of the active stuff, like the going like kind of outdoors, right? Like hiking. We just played, or I just played basketball yesterday with a group of friends, and man, it felt so good just to be out there. Even though the sun was like out and it's kind of hot, it just felt nice. And there were people at the park, people at the basketball courts, people at the volleyball courts. He went
hiking the day before.
Oh yeah, I didn't go surfing this weekend actually
because the waves were bad, but he goes normally.
They were.
And then basketball the next day. Like that's a lot. Like for me, he dragged me out of bed to go hiking, and I felt like I was dying. Like I was so tired. I was exhausted.
But it was good, right? It was
so good. It was worth it. I'm still sore. I was like, hey guys, I'm out of shape right now, so like hopefully that's okay. Everyone is like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I hung in there. It wasn't like.
I mean, it wasn't too bad. The hike was like a 4-mile, 5-mile round trip.
Yeah, but I'm not. I used to be a lot more active, but I mean, I don't want to blame that we had to be staying home for a year, but like my activity has definitely decreased, and so that's one personal goal of mine, is to be a little more active.
Nice.
Yeah, so Tommy has been resting, but that's like a mental rest, not physical rest.
I mean, even like resting, right? It's like, how do we rest? Like, I think you and we rest really like very differently.
Literally the complete opposite. I don't rest the way Tommy rests. The way he rests is exhausting to me.
Well, I think there's two types of rest. I believe there's like a mental rest, and then there's like a physical rest. And I think it's most likely better to get both types of rest. But I lean more, I would say more on a weekly basis is like just that mental rest. Because I just feel like I do a lot of like thinking, problem solving, figuring things out like during the week with, our work and everything
And
else.
literally, our brains are constantly working
And it's like, when
on work.
like sometimes at the end of the day, like my brain just feels fried and I just don't want to do like anything. I just want to,
Yeah.
like
Too many decisions, too many problem
I would just
solving.
look at the
Problem
ceiling
solve.
and then think about nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm a deep thinker, which is kind of crazy too.
Yeah. I think that's why for you, mental rest, like you're resting in the water or you're resting on the mountain or you're resting,
Yeah, it's where my mind can it can run free a little bit more. Where if I'm out surfing out in the water, I don't have to really think about like anything else except just being out there, being in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think being in the moment is what really helps like kind of bring me back and helps me rest mentally.
I mean, like when we had dinner with our friends last night, it was like, I mean, this is like, I didn't feel like it was tiring at all. I felt like I could keep, like, I was tired from the day because we all woke up literally like 6 a.m., if not earlier, all of us in that room that day. But we stayed out till like 8. And I was like, ooh, I'm ready for bed. Like, I was tired. And that's
Yeah.
early. Like I sleep at 1 a.m. or so normally.
Yeah, we slept at like 10, 11 p.m. and I was like, it was nice
Early.
being in bed, like going to sleep a little bit earlier.
Like I put my head down on my pillow. It was like 10 p.m. And I was like, this is weird. But like it was like a really good tired. So I feel like that was still restful for me being around people. It's a small group of people. So you guys heard how we like to rest and kind of how we've been really going through a time where a lot of change is happening. And sometimes with a lot of change comes with moments of just taking care of yourself and how you want to recharge and fill back up. And so that's something that I've been focusing on is resting and getting better at it, taking a day to literally not do anything that causes me to work. My work is interesting because I'm on social media for work, but then I also use social media as just a user. And so, my job is more than just social media, but I'm trying to rest better.
You know what's interesting too, like, so, our jobs, like what we do for like work is like social media, but then also like what we do in our leisure time, we also go on social media.
Yeah, so
And
my balance is weird.
I remember growing up, it's like make your vocation your vacation. And so that in a sense is almost kind of like that, right? Because what you find pleasure in, like when you're on social media, it's like you find entertainment in that. Like there's like some type of entertainment value, but then also you're using it for work. So that's like
It's a win-win.
that's I mean, yeah, right? You get to do what you enjoy and then make money from it.
Yeah. I feel very blessed to say that. And I'm very thankful for the job that I have. And my biggest thing is I need a rest, refill my cup to do the best work that I can for the people I work with and the clients that I serve. So that's kind of where I am in my life right now. And I don't know, I just wanted to share with you guys that if you are going through change, to look at it as an opportunity to grow and an opportunity to kind of switch things up. Because I don't think any of us want to stay in that routine that we were in March and April 2020. Like it's time for a change,
Yeah.
So with all of the change that's been happening in our lives, I think it's important to also just rest and to fill yourself back up and try to embrace the changes that are happening in your life, because I think it makes it a lot more pleasant when going through difficult times and difficult circumstances, and just see like, oh, cool, I get to meet new people. I get to like fill their cup and help them feel connected to this new city they're living in, instead of being like, oh man, like I have to see new people. My routine's, different now. It's easy to feel kind of down about that because I was feeling that way for a little bit. But now it's like, it's refreshed me. I'm like, my life isn't just about me. It's about other people,
Yeah.
And so I feel like when I remind myself of that, it helps me feel like this change is okay. Like I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
Because some days
Oh, yeah.
I wish I didn't have to like change everything I was doing all for like the whole year,
Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. And so with that, let us know down in the comments below, what changes are you going through right now, or maybe your environment has that changed, or maybe what you're going through or how you're feeling in terms of changes. And then how are you finding rest? Let us know in the comments. I know everyone rests differently. And so I would love to know how you guys rest. So maybe that could kind of change up how I would like to rest as well. Maybe there's a better way than what I'm doing now.
Yeah, because we both obviously rest very differently, way differently. And so we'd love to hear if you guys, are you more like Sopha, like me?
Like, do you like to,
or Tommy?
Stay at home, sit on the couch, watch Legally Blonde for like 5 times in one day? Or do you like to go out and go surfing or hiking or rock climbing or whatever?
One day, maybe.
One day, Sopha might.
Right now, I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'm just going to eat popcorn and watch a movie.
Yep. I mean, I love doing that as well. Like Saturday nights, I'm all for that. Unless the surf's good, like in the evenings, and I'm
But
out in
like
the water.
laying in bed on my phone in the most comfortable, my little comfy bed, nothing beats it. Tommy's worst nightmare is to lay in bed all day.
I think it was this past weekend. I came into the room.
He,
She was
could
like in the
not.
bed chilling. I'm like, dang, you look real comfy right now.
Yeah, I was like, don't bother me. I was like this, watching Legally Blonde.
I mean that made me want to like kind of lay in bed and get comfy too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much for watching this far or listening, all the way to the end. We love you guys, and make sure if you're watching on YouTube to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and hit that notification bell, and also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I think, Sophia, you told me we're at 99 subscribers since our last podcast episode. So literally one more. If you're watching right now and you have not subscribed,
says subscribe below. That means you are not subscribed.
Hit that red button and change it to subscribed instead of subscribed.
Subscribed.
We're trying to get to that 100.
Yeah.
2 zeros.
That means you guys are liking the podcast. So we're going to keep making them if you guys keep enjoying them.
Yeah, it's been really encouraging. Also,
and we're on Spotify now.
Oh, yeah. We're on Spotify. Yep. So check it out on Spotify. It's a win-win. That's it. It's a win-win podcast on Spotify. Yeah, thanks for plugging that in.
Yep.
I almost forgot.
And we can't forget our Apple listeners because, we are huge Apple fans, which is why we're on Apple Podcasts. So shout out to our Apple Podcast family. Make sure you guys subscribe so you guys don't miss out on any episodes, and to give us a 5-star rating.
Yeah, awesome. Hit that 5-star for sure. Okay. Awesome. This is going to wrap it up. This is a win-win podcast where we upload every Wednesday. My name is Tommy Win.
And I'm Sopha Win.
And we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Bye.